Hi everybody, it's Nigel from Perfect Senses here again. Guys, just to remind you, we are wedding planners, we do all sorts of events, we do renewing your vows, we do weddings, wedding ceremonies obviously. I'm a qualified celebrant, professionally trained in the UK, here in Phuket. Uh, just wanted to talk to you today about having a wedding on the beach, outside of your villa, outside of your hotel. And one of the reasons you may want to do that, you think, well, why would we want to do it? Is if you're in an urban hotel that doesn't have a beach and is very close to, let's say it's in Patong and it's close to Patong Beach. Patong Beach can be really busy and jet skis and all sorts of things going on, and it's not the ideal beach to have a wedding. So some people like to go and have a wedding a little bit further down the road, somewhere that's not so busy, something that's a bit more romantic, maybe facing the right way for the sunset, and there'll be umpteen reasons why. Maybe budget, it may be that they're in a budget hotel and they can't afford to be on the beach, or you can be in an expensive hotel but it's up in the hills and you want a beach wedding. So beach weddings are done like this. There's a lot of them here that do that. Usually it's a couple eloping, just a couple on their own, and they've decided to come and get married. They've got no friends come with them. They've just, that's it, just me and you, and we want to get married, and they get married and they choose a beach to do it. So yeah, it's fine. We can do it. No problems at all. Key thing with the beach wedding is location, location, location. I can't say that enough. Some people will just take you to a beach and it's not really ideal. Yeah, in a photo it would look good, but the practicalities of it may not be so good. And by using somebody like myself, I'm going to tell you the good, the bad and the ugly. And I'm going to advise you which beach, depending on what time of year. All right. And the reason that is because the west coast of Phuket, when it's absolutely low season, is horrendous. It's raining, you've got very high winds, you've got huge waves and currents, and that beach along there can be destroyed in a matter of hours. So you're putting a risk factor into your equation for what time of year you want to come, where you want to hold it. So we would usually find a beach that maybe is tucked away in a little cove somewhere, not too busy, and make sure that we're covered. I can't promise you it isn't going to rain. I've done quite a few weddings this year and we've got wet, but hey, that's the nature of the beast. Which brings me on to plan B. A beach wedding away from facilities can be a bit of a challenge. One is that if it's a beach and it's in a national park and there's you're a little bit of a trek away and it decides to rain just as you're about ready to have your ceremony, trying to find somewhere to take cover can be difficult. You're going to cram back in the car, get all the equipment under cover. It can be a challenge for us, all right? And it can happen. It has happened. Okay, the wind gets up, it can blow everything away. So if we decide, oh, it's a light rain, but it's windy, all your tablecloths and your dressings and everything can be blown down the beach or blown onto the sand, and then it's raining, it gets all sandy and horrible, and it can make a bit of a challenge for us to make sure that we've got all those things covered, extra covers and extra bits and pieces, and it will delay the wedding. And if you remember my video talking about hotels, they have a plan B, and if need be, they can take things inside the banquet room. If you decide, that's going to be dark, I'm not going to risk it, I don't want to risk it, so they can take it inside. But on a beach, you don't have anywhere to go. If we're lucky and we're very close to a coffee shop or a restaurant, we can take cover in there, there's no issues there. but we've just got to leave everything on the beach until it passes, and then obviously redress it the best we can. And it can bring frustrations and problems into it. If it's high season and, generally the weather is really good here in Phuket, even in low season, we get days where it's beautiful, sunny, and you think to yourself, there's no issue with the weather. But sod's law is, on your day, if you get caught out, you're not going to be a happy bunny. So that's the first thing, is a plan B should it rain. You won't have much of a plan B, and you will have to sit it out, and you'll just have to accept what's given at that time. Secondly is facilities for like bathrooms, being able to get a drink if you're delayed. We'll obviously make sure that there's plenty of water and juices and stuff like that when we go to the event. But if it's going to be an hour delay, then it'd be good to be able to nip into the coffee shop or something, sit there and have a hot cup of coffee or a cold drink, a cold beer or something, calm the nerves, and soothe the pain of delaying, and feel good about it. But yeah, if you've got an open mind and you say it is what it is, beach wedding's fine. Limited plan B, you can have it. It'll be cheaper than a hotel. Numbers will play a big part into how that beach wedding is set up. We have to get permission from the local government and get a permit to actually use a beach. You just can't rock up to a beach and put a picnic table there and have a ceremony. It doesn't work like that. We have to get papers, so we need to obviously get them in and pay our fees and do all that sort of stuff. So a little bit of the old 5 Ps, proper planning prevents piss poor performance. All right, we try to avoid the latter at all costs. So it's a matter of just time of year, what you want, size of your wedding, on what we're going to advise you. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to hide any facts. I'm not going to beat around the bush about it. If I don't think it's a good idea, I will tell you, because I'm an upfront guy, and I'd rather say to you, no, it's not the right time of year, change it. And if you say, well, I'm sorry, but that's when I want it, we will then, if that's what you want, we'll do it. But we've said to you, X, Y, and Z is a reason not to have it, or A, B, C is a good reason to have it there at this time of the year. All right, open advice, it's free. We'll have a discussion with you about it, and leave you to make your choices. Okay, so that's one thing you've got to think about. You've also got to think about is that these beaches can have other tourists and locals milling up and down. You can have dogs running around, and they have dogs here. They're called soy dogs. They're very tame generally. They don't cause any issues. They'll just sit there. It's too hot to make a problem, but sometimes they can run around and play around your feet and be a bit of a pain in the arse. And you get the people who are tourists and they want to take a photo of a wedding, a selfie. It depends on how forgiving you want to be when it comes to that sort of thing. Some people don't worry about it. Let them take the selfie. I'm not in it. They're not stood right next to me as such. They're doing it from a distance. Doesn't make any difference. But generally, beach weddings tend to be smaller, small groups, ideal, up to 10 people. 10 people, you don't need chairs and lots of, fancy sort of stuff. We can put you some nice dressings around and things. And I like to get people to stand in a semicircle, holding hands, and they come in nice and close around you. They can hear what's being said. They can see your emotions, and they'll feel the wedding with you. And it kind of shuts people out because they're outside of that semicircle. It's a small group, and then when it's all finished, you can just pick everything up and walk back to the vehicles and go back to your hotel or wherever you're staying. And the thing is, you have to bear that in mind as well, is that if you take a hotel in urban city Patong and it's one of these hotels in the middle, we've got to get you from A to B. And in high season, remember what I said, hotels we all like to have our weddings around about 4 or 5 o'clock. Normally 5 o'clock for me, because it's just that little bit cooler than 4 o'clock, and the sun's going down, and it tends to be a little bit more romantic. But that's rush hour, so getting you there won't be too much of a problem, but it could take you 45 minutes to get there, and it could take you over an hour and 15 minutes to get back if it's 6 o'clock when you're heading back, because that's everybody leaving work, everybody that's been sightseeing is all heading back. And high season is worse than low season. Low season, there's far less traffic and it's less hectic. So again, logistics, location, location, location. I worry about all that sort of stuff. Really, it's just that I'm open with you, and you have to bear that in mind when you come to saying to the hotel, well, I would like, for when we get back from our wedding, a dinner table for 10 people, 7 o'clock, and you may not even be back by 7 o'clock. You just don't know. If you've had a bit of rain and we've delayed, it's a knock-on effect. It all needs to be put into the calculation, and that's what we're here for. We're wedding planners, and we'll do as much or as little as you want. We'll do it as rich or as cheap as you want, and we will give you the best service we possibly can, regardless of the cost. All right, we pride ourselves on being professional and making sure that you get value for money. So these are the sort of things that can come into play when you decide that you want a beach wedding. High season, you've not got much to worry about. It's going to be romantic. The sun is going to be perfect. That people are going to be around, but it's not going to be too bad. We'll take you to a nice beach. It's white sands, or it's just a little bit darker, maybe a little bit off reddish. The ocean will be blue. It'll be flat. It'll be perfect. Low season, it's a gamble. High tides, high winds, rain, but nobody on the beach because nobody's daft enough to go. But we'll pick the beach based on what you tell us you want and what time you're coming, so you don't have to worry from that point of view. It's all about budget, location, and your ideas, really. Okay, so really a beach wedding's very simple. There's no issues. It's just plan B and facilities. All right, think on it. Until the next time, have fun and stay safe. All the best. Bye.